What's going on, everybody? Ev here, welcoming you to Between Sets, where we talk all things fitness, nutrition, lifestyle, and performance in between sets of my workout. Now, full disclosure today, this is actually pre-workout. I haven't gotten into my workout yet, so technically it's before the sets instead of between sets. I'm about to throw in a load of laundry. One of the double-edged swords of having a setup in your basement is that, well, sometimes you got to get other things done, and having a washer in the background going off doesn't make for the best audio. So full disclosure, just want to be honest with you, we'll call today before sets on between sets. Now, what we're going to look at today is what to do when you feel like you should be making progress faster than you are. This is something that I see challenging and even derailing more people than I'd like. It's something that I've been challenged with. It's something I see all the time. And it's something that has a pretty simple solution. But again, simple doesn't always imply easy. So let's kind of talk through what's going on here, or at least what I think's going on here based on what I've seen, and a couple things you might be able to do with it. I believe the reason why, or at least the main reason why, we feel like we should be progressing faster than we might be. Now, again, let's not ignore the fact that chances are you are making progress. This is about the rate at which you're making progress. Because if you truly, legitimately aren't making progress, then that's going to be a different conversation, right? If you stalled, if you feel like you've plateaued, if you're legitimately not doing the things that you know you should be doing and you're struggling to actually get going, that's a different conversation. What we're talking about here is you're starting to put in the work. You've seen a little bit of progress, but now you're getting frustrated because maybe you're a month or two in, or even a year or two in, and you're not where you feel like you should be. And that's the key, right? You're not where you feel like you should be, okay? I believe that most of this stems from the messaging that we receive, okay? Whether it's from marketing and advertisements, whether it's from different products, which again kind of falls in that marketing and advertising, maybe from our friends, right? And our family or people we know, well-intentioned people, right? You hear all these things like, well, I did this and I lost all this weight in a really short amount of time, or here, buy this product or this program and your life will and your body will transform in 30, 60, 90 days. When we think about it, we see that all of these are attached with a time frame, right? Transform your life in 30 days. That's a pretty bold promise, right? You didn't get to where you are in 30 days, and you're not going to get to where you want to be in 30 days. Maybe, but for the most of us, that's not going to happen. So what ends up happening is instead of listening into that our own internal dialogue, our own internal truth, our heart, our gut, whatever it is, where we know that this stuff isn't legit, right? It doesn't check out, but that's overridden because it just keeps like hammering us. We keep getting beaten down with all of this information that says we should be making progress quicker. And as a result of just that repeated messaging, we start to believe, well, yeah, I should be making progress quicker. I don't believe that that's true, right? I feel like you're making progress at the rate at which you should be. Again, you know deep down in your heart that these things aren't going to work. And at the very least, they're not going to work for you in the long term. And it's going to become more and more frustrating when you deviate from the path that you're on, that slow, steady, tortoise versus the hare transformation path that you're on, and you deviate and try to go for some quick fixes because you were feeling frustrated in the moment and you went for it. Now, there is a time and a place to go full send and go for it, but when it comes to your life, when it comes to your health, think about this, right? In 10 years, is that aggressive dietary protocol, are you going to look back and be like, goodness, I'm really glad that I did that. That made all the difference. Or are you going to be able to look back at your cumulative journey of, man, I've been lifting weights consistently for 10 years. I've been eating healthy and eating really good quality foods, stuff that supports me. And I've been practicing the skills. I've been learning how to build this into my life. Man, I feel good. You're probably going to forget about those things that you tried that didn't work out when you really stick to the fundamentals, the things that you know are going to work for you, the stuff that isn't flashy, it's not glamorous. Quite honestly, it's kind of boring, but that's the stuff that works. Time and time again, it's shown that that's the stuff that works. And if you look at any of the fancy dietary protocols out there, the diets and all these different things that you can try, for lack of a better term, at its core, the foundations are more similar than they are different, regardless of what it is, right? Regardless. We can go into a separate video if you'd like about how most of the dietary protocols are more similar than they are different. If that's something you like, please leave a comment below and we'll look to build one of those out for you. So really the key, right? So now we just talked about what's going on. What do we actually do about it? I think it'd be a bit of a disservice for me to tell you to just ignore that noise, because the truth is it's prevalent, and I encourage you to try to ignore that messaging and really try to be diligent in following accounts and people and businesses that support the fundamentals and the foundation. I'd like to believe I'm one of those people, and I know there's a lot of other great coaches, trainers, fitness and nutrition professionals out there who are sharing a similar message. And that's great. And you should definitely follow those, because we need this repeated exposure to a different conversation, to some different verbiage and some different language that supports that long-term foundational fundamental view. So just ignoring it is not going to be enough. You need to actually swap in what it is that you're consuming to make sure that it supports ultimately what you're after. And then the next thing is just going a really bit deeper with that, and it's trusting your gut and understanding why you're doing what you're doing, right? Very rarely are we losing weight or trying to build muscle just for the sake of either of those. There's something deeper, there's something underlying that we are really after. And when we think about it through the lens of that underlying reason, very rarely does it need to have a time frame, right? If we want to lose some weight so we have more energy, we're more active in our lives, we're more active in the lives of our family, it doesn't matter if that comes in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 120 days, 365 days. The fact that you're working towards that is what matters. And you will get there eventually, right? And then it'll be a part of your life, and you'll think back to, well, why didn't I do that sooner? And that's okay. Really connect with what it is that you're trying to do. Trust your gut, listen to your intuition. Don't let emotion cloud your judgment, right? We're emotional creatures that justify things with logic, right? And that's oftentimes what's happening here. We're making a decision based on an emotion. So before you act too quickly, before you get too frustrated with something, take a step back, take a breath, understand you're exactly where you're supposed to be. You're making the exact progress you're supposed to be. And if you want to pick things up, or if you want to really dial it in or dial it down, well, that's when it's really a good opportunity to start working with a coach if you don't already, or have a conversation with your coach around, well, I don't feel like I'm making the progress that I want to. I feel like we can turn this up a little bit more. And chances are what they're going to tell you is they're going to try to have you focus on the things you know you should already be doing, and doing them a little bit better, right? If you're focusing on building out healthy meals, getting in enough protein, they're going to make sure that those things are really dialed in. Again, turn up the fundamentals and turn down the noise. It's going to crowd that stuff out. So I hope this is helpful, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't already, please hit the like button. Give me a comment below. And at the very least, if you're really enjoying these videos, I'd love it if you subscribe to this channel. I'll be working through these as often as possible, preferably weekly. It's only the third episode, or the fourth. Well, it's within the first 10 episodes. And I really think these are going to be fun. I'm hoping you enjoy them, and I'm hoping you'll stick around for the ride. Thanks so much for joining me, ladies and gentlemen. Talk to y'all soon.